Hello, everyone.
Surprise.
This is the Kiltz Health live stream with Dr. Nelson. I am your host, Dr. Nelson. And today we have Luis Lotito with
That's
us
right.
as our guest.
Yep, I am. Well, we can tell them I'm a substitute guest, but I'm glad I could be here with you
Go
guys.
ahead. Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
I think, well,
Yeah,
I hear you.
I know
So,
they can hear me. Yeah, no, just Dr. Nelson needed a friend today to help jump on the 3:00, the 3:30 live stream. So here I am to help you guys out. Hope everything is good.
it's
Hey, Rick,
called a pinch hitter.
pinch hit.
And
For
we're going to
real.
go with the baseball theme. Why are
Yes,
we going with that?
yes, we are. We have, the very first meetup in the borough of Queens in New York City is happening this Sunday. So and it is this might be the first meetup that's like multi location. I guess with the ones that have like the speakers and the restaurant is multi location. But this one we're starting at a baseball game and then we're ending at an all you can eat carnivore Korean barbecue dinner. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I wish more people were taking advantage of it, but it'll be a good group. It'll be a good group.
So, 4/12 is Sunday.
Yes.
I am a baseball fan.
Yeah.
Lewis is a baseball fan,
Yeah.
and we're going to be watching the Mets. But we want to share with people. We already have, I believe, 12
Yes.
that have confirmed, but you're still in time. We do have a few extra tickets,
Yes.
and it's going to include a ticket to go and see the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to include a t-shirt. Oh, you have the t-shirts there, Louis?
I happen to get the delivery right now. These are still in the bag.
All right.
There you go.
So
It says a steak a day
take
keeps
a
the
day
doctor.
keeps the doctor away.
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to keep this doctor away, but
Other
we'll be
doctors.
happy.
Your
And
doctor.
after the game, we're going to go to a local Korean barbecue place.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I understand it's not, this large place, so we're not telling people the location. You'll have to find out if you come. If you're not coming, then you don't need to
You'll
know.
find out
right?
afterwards. The great thing about this restaurant that we're going to is it's not a chain. It's just a single, mom and pop location. They've been there forever. They help you. Korean barbecue is very famous with you cook yourself on the grill in front of you, or if you're going to hot pot in the broth or in the water. And this place, they actually, when they bring the meat over, they help you cook it quickly. They move it to plates and then they keep another meat coming on. So it's not like you're eating like one piece of meat per person and then it stops. They do a good job at keeping it coming, which is really good. Hello, everyone. We have lots of friends on today.
If any of you have any comments or questions for Louis or for me, just go ahead and put it in the chat. Now, let's talk about a little bit keeping the doctor away, because most people in this community happen to have ended doing carnivore because of health issues. And most people that are still carnivore curious is because of health issues. I really haven't found anyone who felt they're perfectly healthy. Let me try carnivore. Have you met anyone?
I want to say very few and far between as far as people that are just healthy and want to try it. I think I probably have heard some stories on Dave Mack's show of people that didn't have any serious underlying issues. Maybe they did it with a spouse that was diabetic, but then themselves didn't have that's very, very few and far between. I think everyone finds it. And that's another reason why we find it later in life, typically, because when we're younger, our bodies are still able to keep up with the excessive carbohydrates that we're consuming in our diet,
You
and
can
it's not
eat all the
until
damaging food,
Mhm.
and
You bounce back. Yeah.
you may not get sick. It's I often use the analogy of cars. Uh, when they're brand new, you can abuse any car, even the ones that we don't think they're high quality cars.
Mhm.
You can abuse it for a while. It's gonna break down, but it may take some time, some miles into it, right?
Yeah, so most
Uh,
most people have to get to a place with their health for them to even try to change their diet. And I know, Dr. Nelson, you see this in your life. I see it in my life. Whenever someone comes to me and says, I mean, people, they usually come to me and talk about weight loss because that's what you can see. You can't see the other things that I've reversed. But when I tell them like what I do, like they're just like, oh, like I can't do that. And that's because they're not there. They're not at that point that we were at to make those changes. So yeah.
Now, I'm very interested in getting rid of something
Hmm.
from the from this earth. I don't want to be uh, to have this disease, and we call it diabetes.
Yep.
Happens to be frequent. I call it a pandemic
Hmm.
because more people die of diabetes and complications of diabetes. And by the way, most people die of complications of diabetes, not of the diabetes.
Correct.
But even the people who die from diabetes and its complications is at pandemic levels. And I think people, if you're listening, very likely you went through this thing 5 years ago, right? Five already going on 6
Oh
years.
yes. Yes.
So you know what I'm talking about. Well,
Hmm.
people are dropping dead from complications of diabetes right and left. We just don't pay much attention to it because it's so common, right?
And it also is slow, and other illnesses, other pandemics, it was happened much faster. People got sick and they would pass away much faster. So the fact that it's slow, just like eating the poison food that we eat, it
Yeah.
kills us slowly. That's another reason why people cannot notice it.
And, oh, what did he die of? Oh, well, he had a heart attack. Well, guess what? The heart attack was most likely due to diabetes.
Right.
Oh, he had a stroke. Stroke was most likely due to
Hmm.
diabetes. Oh, he had renal failure and he
Hmm.
was end stage.
An
Guess what?
infection.
The most common cause of that is diabetes.
Hmm.
He had, you know, problems with circulation, and they had to cut off the toes and the ankle, and you end up passing away from all these complications, gangrene, infections, and so on. Well, guess what? It was diabetes.
Yeah.
Diabetes itself, uh, most of the time, won't kill you.
Right. Like having high blood sugar is not what causes you to die.
To
It's
die immediately.
right.
It causes damage inside the arteries of
Hmm.
every system, and then you end up developing a secondary problem to that. So when you pass away, well, most people don't say, "Oh, well, he had diabetes." They might mention it, but usually is
Yeah. The
the
heart attack, the
chronic
stroke. Right. That's what they
secondary
say.
problem.
Yeah.
So, Louis, do you know of anyone in your life, in your household, who had diabetes?
Besides me.
Yes, I'm talking about you.
Yeah, listen, it's rough. I mean, I was diabetic for almost 10 years. I got diagnosed very young in in age. I was probably around 31 years old. Records from that time period are not as good as I keep them now, so I'm not really sure exactly when my first diabetic A1C was, but uh yeah, I mean, this way of eating definitely has kept my blood sugar in the non-diabetic range. but I'm still, and I love all of our friends that are like that eat this way for 30 seconds and they A1C is 4.2, and it's great. And I still struggle with, if I'm not really, really strict, and I'm not even talking about eating sugar, right? Or potatoes. I don't eat that stuff. I will never eat sugar again. I will never eat uh, a really starchy vegetable again. But if I eat late at night, the next morning my blood sugar is higher. So there's definitely something underlying still.
So
And
there
I
are
you know,
few words that we use, and I definitely avoid using the word cure,
yeah.
because sometimes the damage is so extensive
Hmm.
that it's going to be a long time
Yeah.
before you can say, "Oh, I had a plate of rice." Not that I'm promoting that, but
Hmm.
and my blood sugar didn't go up to 200. But the definition of diabetes has always been based on your blood sugar level.
Hmm.
Okay, there are four diagnostic criteria at the moment. As far as I know, they haven't been updated. The most commonly used nowadays, which is the hemoglobin A1C being 6.5 or higher,
That's the easiest one to test.
and
Hmm.
it's the latest one, it's the youngest criteria
Oh.
because it's only been available, I believe, 16, 17 years. It wasn't until either 2009, 2010 that hemoglobin A1C was used as a diagnostic criteria. Had been used for a long time before that to confirm and to see how your control had been, but it had not been used, uh, viewed as a criteria of diagnosis. But the other three, they all have to do as well with blood sugar levels, whether it was a fasting, which when I graduated from medical school, that fasting was 140. If you were 140 on two occasions or higher, you had diabetes. Many years ago, that was decreased to 126.
Hmm.
So anything over 100 is not normal on a fasting blood sugar. Anything over 126 on two occasions is considered diabetes. The other criteria include a glucose tolerance test or random blood sugars over 200 with the classic signs and symptoms. But all those four have to do with your blood sugar. That's the diagnosis. There is no particular test that I can do on someone and say unequivocally, "Oh, you have diabetes," unless I do one of those
Hmm.
four. Uh, so if I use that criteria to say someone has diabetes, if you don't fulfill that criteria, then I have to also say you don't have diabetes. And what I'm driving at is if you don't fulfill those criteria anymore and you're no longer using any medication,
Correct.
you reverse your diabetes. You reverse your diagnosis of diabetes. Whether you say that you put it in remission or you have resolved it, we don't have to use the word cure. But very often, if you go back to eating the way you were eating,
Hmm.
you're going to have what you had before.
I also find my blood sugar is tied, and I don't know if you can make any sense of this, is tied directly to also how much food I eat.
Yes.
I don't, we can use the word calories, we can use the word whatever you want, volume, but even if I eat zero carb foods, but I eat it in excess or a large quantity of it, my blood sugar the next
Yeah.
morning could be higher, for
A-
example.
And many of us, me included,
Hmm.
can overeat to have that effect
Yeah.
on our blood sugars uh, more than is needed, maybe.
Hmm.
Okay. Uh, has nothing directly to do with calories, but when we're talking about eating a lot of food,
Hmm.
that translates in most people's minds as calories. And,
Right.
a couple of weeks ago, I think, or last week, someone had made a comment on a live stream that it's all about the calories. So actually, I'm glad you mentioned that
You have
because
something to share?
oh yeah. So let
You
me
know,
see.
calories, it's just it's a convenient way to be able to talk about like quantity of food, because if you think about it, it kind of ties into that.
Yeah. So, and I'm not saying quantity doesn't matter or that calories don't matter absolutely, but
Right.
it
And
is
and the
not.
reason, yeah,
Go
the
ahead.
reason
Go
why
ahead.
I tie it into quantities, because I know people that get, gastric bypass surgery, even before they lose a lot of weight, their diabetes goes away, and I think it's tied directly to the amount of food that they can or cannot eat at that point. And even myself, when I was taking a GLP-1, and I was eating much less food. Um, my blood sugar was a lot better, but I honestly think it was more because of quantity. Now I feel like I'm always hungry. All right, what's this? Wow.
All right. So let's play this. And I went and did a little deep dive because of the comment, just to illustrate it. So
And
let
I want to focus on the name of this presentation. It's the fallacy of calories in, calories out, and the metabolic. What word is that, Dr. Nelson?
paradigm.
Paradigm. Cool.
Let me know if you can hear it, okay?
Yep. I can't hear anything. Is it talking? Still can't hear it. Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, we'll try again. And look, it looks cool though.
Yeah. So
Lots of friends are on
I
today.
am
Hello.
sharing the audio.
I didn't hear it. Can you guys hear it in on YouTube in the chat? You guys, everyone, is anybody out there? I know it's
let's present it from the
and Coach Angela Mullins says she cannot hear. Rick cannot hear. Granny Boo. Oh, everyone's here now. Hello, everyone. Everyone's saying no, they can't hear it.
all right.
Or they're not there. Either way.
So we are going to do it this way. I was gonna load it on the StreamYard, but I had not had time. So I'm gonna play it from the web directly, and I'm sharing the audio, so hopefully.
But yeah, you should. You do this all the time. It should work. All right, Sandy, we're gonna get it going. Thanks everyone for the feedback.
A closed container.
I hear it.
Burning fuel to produce work. The foundation of this model is the calorie. In 1825, physicists defined a kilocalorie strictly as the amount.
Let's start it.
For almost a century, weight loss advice has relied on a single assumption: energy in minus energy out. This model treats the human body like a 19th century steam engine, a closed container burning fuel to produce work. The foundation of this model is the calorie. In 1825, physicists defined a kilocalorie strictly as the amount of environmental heat required to raise 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree Celsius. To determine the energy content of food, scientists use direct calorimetry. They dry a food sample, place it in a high-pressure oxygen chamber called a bomb calorimeter, and ignite it, measuring the total heat released by the explosion. A calorimeter guarantees rapid, uncontrolled combustion. The human digestive tract, however, operates through slow, enzyme-driven oxidation, capturing only a fraction of that potential energy as usable ATP. The human body is a selective filter. If you put a handful of dietary fiber into a calorimeter, it registers a high caloric value. If you eat that same fiber, you lack the cellulase enzymes required to break it down, and the energy is simply excreted. We are complex biological filters, not sealed incinerators. Applying static thermal equations to human digestion ignores the mechanical reality of human physiology. Processing different macronutrients carries specific biological costs, a mechanism known as the thermic effect of food. Protein requires significant energy for deamination and urea synthesis, meaning its net yield is consistently lower than its gross chemical potential. As an open biological system, the body actively adjusts its thermodynamic efficiency. When converting protein to glucose or relying on ketone production, the body dissipates excess energy as heat. While calories measure potential heat in a lab, the body interprets food as chemical information. Every nutrient you ingest delivers a precise set of instructions to your endocrine system. Food acts as the code that dictates how your body partitions, stores, and utilizes metabolic fuels. One set of chemical instructions tells the pancreas to drive energy into fat cells, lipogenesis. Another set of instructions signals the brain to terminate a meal and pulls energy out of storage, lipolysis. You can eat 2 meals with identical caloric values, but if one meal triggers a storage cascade and the other triggers a satiety cascade, your biological outcomes will diverge. Weight management fails when we focus exclusively on counting units of heat while ignoring the hormonal instructions those units deliver to the organs. This chart compares 160 calories of ultra-processed snacks to a 231-calorie whole food. The cookies deliver 25 grams of refined carbs, including 14 grams of sucrose and high-fructose corn syrup, plus omega-6 oils. This fructose bypasses systemic circulation, going directly to the liver, avoiding metabolic checks. The liver converts this unbuffered fructose directly into lipid droplets through de novo lipogenesis. This fat accumulation inside the liver is a primary driver of systemic insulin resistance. Simultaneously, the refined flour and glucose trigger a massive surge of insulin from the pancreas to clear the sudden spike in blood sugar. Insulin acts as a biological one-way valve for your adipose tissue. It promotes the uptake of fatty acids into fat cells for storage. While insulin levels remain elevated, lipolysis is chemically inhibited. Your existing fat stores are effectively partitioned away from metabolic use. Because the fat cells are restricted, the brain detects a drop in available circulating fuel. The body enters a state of internal starvation, despite carrying energy reserves. This rapid clearance of blood sugar causes reactive hypoglycemia. The subsequent crash triggers a severe rebound in ghrelin, driving intense hunger within 90 minutes of the original meal. These 160 calories actively engineer fat storage and systemic starvation. When the body signals a survival-level fuel shortage, the biological drive for energy consistently overrides conscious efforts at portion control. Now look at the right side of the chart. 3 large eggs provide 231 calories, delivering 18 grams of protein and healthy fats. This causes almost zero insulin response, keeping the biological valve open for lipolysis. Digestion then stimulates satiety hormones like CCK and GLP-1. These hormones physically slow gastric emptying and send a sustained signal to the brain that the organism is fully nourished. The eggs also deliver essential micronutrients like choline, which the liver requires to package and export fat, helping to resolve liver fat accumulation. Clinical trials demonstrate that this specific hormonal profile results in a spontaneous reduction of total intake for the next 24 to 36 hours. By prioritizing chemical information over caloric math, a higher caloric load naturally resolves weight issues. The nutrients suppress hunger and prioritize the burning of stored fat. Mainstream dietitians frequently argue that a static caloric deficit is the only requirement for weight loss. This advice ignores adaptive thermogenesis. When energy intake is restricted without addressing high insulin levels, the body perceives the deficit as pseudo-starvation and defends homeostasis. The body systematically downregulates non-essential physiological processes. Studies on participants of The Biggest Loser showed that 6 years later, their basal metabolic rates remained significantly lower than predicted for their body size. As fat cells shrink under forced starvation, leptin plummets. Simultaneously, active thyroid hormone decreases, slowing down cellular metabolism to conserve heat and energy. This hormonal shift effectively lowers the body's baseline energy expenditure to match the restricted intake, nullifying the intended mathematical deficit. If you attempt to starve a chemically restricted fat cell, the body will sacrifice its metabolic rate to survive, leading to the high failure rates seen in long-term studies. This chart shows the shift for health coaching. Success requires shifting focus away from total body weight, directing it towards insulin sensitivity and liver health. This means abandoning caloric density and instead evaluating meals strictly by their nutrient density and glycemic load. The first clinical step is to eliminate liquid fructose and ultra-processed sugars. Halting de novo lipogenesis is required to heal a fatty liver. The second step is to eliminate chronic snacking. Creating defined windows between meals allows baseline insulin levels to fall, which allows the body to access stored lipids for fuel. Obesity is a symptom of underlying liver and hormonal dysfunction. Resolution comes from healing the organ with correct signaling, not starving it with incorrect math. A coach's primary role is to manipulate the exposome, the environmental and dietary factors that dictate either disease or metabolic health. Choosing species-appropriate food provides the body with the exact genetic information it needs to regulate its own energy stores. When clients hit a plateau, further caloric restriction is counterproductive. The solution is a closer examination of the hormonal signaling generated by their food quality. A caloric deficit is a retrospective description of what happens after the hormonal environment allows weight loss to occur. Weight loss is the side effect of a healthy metabolism. And a healthy metabolism is built by respecting biological signals, not thermal math.
You're mute. I can't hear you, Dr. Nelson.
Trying to avoid my dog bark coming through. You can lose weight with many different diets, and we've seen them throughout the years. But are they conducive to long-term maintenance of that weight? Probably not. The most famous experiment, I guess, for 70 years has been the calorie restriction promoted by Weight Watchers.
Yeah. The long-term study right there.
How successful was that? That now they had to buy a company that prescribes GLP-1 so you can continue being under the Weight Watchers system.
Umbrella. Yeah. My biggest takeaway from that new video you made, which was really good, was at the very start of it, the picture of the bomb calorimeter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you were to show that to people that are preaching calories in, calories out, it is so obvious that that's not how our bodies are, and especially about how controlled that environment is, right? How our bodies are not like that. It's just, it's
not a closed system. So there are many factors that contribute. Yes, your level of activity and the amount of food you eat have something to do with it, but also the hormonal milieu is important. The nutritional value of the foods that you're eating, because when you eat fatty meat, you get satiated so much quicker, and you naturally eventually lower the amount of food that you eat. And yes, some people will still argue, yeah, but you still went to the calories in, calories out, basically, because you were eating less. Well, no, you were eating less because your body isn't getting nourished and completely satiated with the fatty meat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. We have a couple of questions here. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the chat. So Brian Ari
is asking me and you, the both of us.
Thank you for your contributions, by the way. He frequently asks questions. This is to both of you. What do you do for exercise And do you sauna, cold plunge?
So I'll say that my exercise is more seasonal. I like to do a lot of things outdoors, whether it be riding my bike or going for walks, stuff like that. I really dislike weight training. I really should do it. I know. And my wife is the exact opposite. She loves weight training. She goes to the gym and all that stuff. Um, I know more muscle would help with my blood sugar control. So it's one of those, things I'm in, torn in the middle there. But so right now, as we exit winter, I really I'm not doing a lot of exercise, but that will be increasing as it gets warmer outside. And again, like I said, I ride my bike almost every day, like 10 miles when it's warmer out, and just like going for walks after meals, stuff like that. And cold plunge or sauna. So I don't do sauna. I don't have a sauna. If I ever do have access to that stuff, whether like I'm on vacation somewhere, I do take advantage of it. And I do not like the idea of cold plunge. I went through this phase where I was like trying to take a shower with like the cold water, and it is not good. I'm not about that. How about you, Dr. Nelson?
I don't have a sauna, and my cold plunges are basically because I don't have the appropriate equipment to do it. I don't go to the gym, but I do take the cold showers even in the winter. Now I'm in Florida, of course.
So your water is 52 degrees.
So my cold is not that cold, but
It's lukewarm.
It could be cold.
Yeah.
And what I do, and I tell you the truth, I haven't done it. So in general, and I say this usually in our meetings in more private situations, I don't do hormetic stress, right? I've been married for 42 years.
That's right.
All right. So seriously,
Good question.
Yeah, if I take a hot shower, then finish with a cold shower, and it takes me about 3 minutes to start trembling, that's when I know, okay, it did its job. But I've never put myself into a little pool of ice and water. No.
No.
I live in Florida for a reason, and that's because this is New York where I've lived, and this is not Massachusetts where I live. It's Florida. And if you need more explanation, then you might be elsewhere on this globe.
And they sell those cold plunge, like, things at like Costco. They're not that expensive. And my wife's like, "Oh, look." I'm like, "No, I can't do that. Forget it."
Yeah, in New York, I don't know. They have a house or an apartment?
Yeah, a house. Yeah, house.
Okay. Because
I have the space. I just don't want. I'm not gonna go in it.
Okay. All righty.
And what about exercise, Dr. Nelson? What do you do?
Well, I wasn't gonna answer that on purpose because
Sorry.
I haven't done much in the past year. It's gonna be a year, April, when I sort of kind of stopped because I did. But okay. I should start walk. Well, I do occasionally. I mean, I'm not Dr. Kiltz, but I do have
nice
some weights, and I work my arms, and sometimes I'm sitting. I do knee lifts and lift my legs. But I have not done more than that. I have been walking enough that I could walk at least 4 miles without
at one shot.
Yeah. And I stopped doing that. It kind of all of a sudden I haven't it's been a year because it was last April.
Okay.
Should I do it? Yeah, I should do it.
No, I hear you.
All right. We do have another question. This is not a question. I brought it up because it's a comment from Uncle Charlie. So my A1C was 18. Now it's 5. His blood sugar was over 800. Now
I don't
58,
know.
hospital 14 days. Now 58, I guess. Hospital 14 days. Doctor said insulin metformin for life. She was wrong. He was 325
Yep.
pounds. Now he's 180. He
Amazing.
built a cold plunge, 40 degrees, water, 3 minutes a day.
3 minutes.
So it takes, almost regardless of the temperature, it takes about 3 minutes for your body to register, and you probably will know by the
What do you
time you
mean
start.
register? What do you mean 3 minutes
Well,
for your body to register?
okay,
You mean 3 minutes before I die?
for it to be effective, and
Okay.
you'll know because remember, even with milder cold water,
Mm-hmm.
it takes me about 3 minutes to start
Shivering.
trembling to the
Right.
point that, okay, I think it did what it's meant to do. So if you,
What
and
to
then
do?
there are a lot of people that study this. Some people say, oh, you need at least 11 minutes a week. I don't know why they come up with these numbers, really, but
11
if
minutes just added up or at one time?
11 minutes a week
Total.
But you can probably not do just a couple of minutes every day, even though that will be 14. 2 minutes might not give you the one session results that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Rick says hypothermia.
Yep.
By the way, congratulations, Uncle Charlie. I'm always amazed.
Yeah. Amazing testimony.
Yeah. So if you have any other comments or questions, let us know.
That's
Rick,
right.
do you do any cold plunges? Yeah.
Yeah, Rick, where do you find cold water by you?
I don't know. He would have to buy a bunch of ice, or I don't know, because he's in Miami.
Yeah.
Rarely cold enough.
No cold water in Miami. That's true. Even the hose water is hot. It's true. So Dr. Nelson, during your video that you played, that you created, it talked about when we eat low carbohydrate, low glycemic foods, how it affects the hormones. Is it possible that those hormones don't work well in some people's bodies? That keeps them hungrier, or like, so many people talk about, oh, I undereat on carnivore. And I've never had that problem. I don't know. I don't think you have either.
No, I don't undereat carnivore.
Me either.
So, and I've mentioned this before, but
yeah,
my father taught me about leptin.
Yes, you did say this.
He had no idea what leptin was. He never mentioned the word. But he always said that some people have that little bell in their brain that said, you're full, right? So I always had trouble telling when I was full. So I would overeat because by the time I realized I ate too much, if the food was available,
Mm-hmm.
It would be just too late. There is a lag between the time that your hormones start telling your brain that you're full. That's why many people do advise that you eat slowly, as slow as you can, because when you eat like you're in a hurry, very often you're going to end up overeating, right? So if you eat slowly, chew your food well, you're gonna be able to tell when you are full quicker in
Mm-hmm.
relation to the amount of food you ate and the delay of time and all these things. So that is a good advice. Eat slowly, take your time, enjoy what you're eating, and when you feel that you're full, it's time to push things away.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing people advise, if you know you have a problem with eating too much, and I don't know, I credit that to my parents being children of the Depression, and it was always eat everything in your
On your plate,
plate.
right?
Uh, so the advice from some people is fill your plate to what you know you're probably gonna eat. Don't put any more. Don't overfill
Right.
your plate. Eat it completely. Wait a few minutes, and if you think you're still hungry, then you can go and have seconds. But don't treat it as a buffet where you're going through the buffet, you're filling up your plate because I don't know, they're gonna charge you every time you go to the
Yeah.
buffet. I don't know. But that's the way I used to eat before when I went to Golden Corral for lunch, or one of these cheap
Load it up.
buffet places. You load it up, and then before you have a chance to register, if you're full, you're walking through the buffet a second time. So one of the biggest problems is maybe you're eating too much. Not everybody. I'm not saying everybody has the same problem, but
and another thing that I'm still learning, and it's amazing every time, is just how we really don't need a lot of food to live. And that's something that's so foreign, how little we need to really eat to be well, and like watching how Dr. Kiltz eats, for example, is a good example of that, because he is someone that eats, I think, very little, but obviously he's in good shape. So yeah.
So we were having dinner together last night.
At the you went to the movie.
We went to the cholesterol code screening, recommended to anyone. Just find where to watch it.
Yep.
We're trying to show it in Orlando. If we don't sell enough tickets, it's going to be canceled. So if you're interested, please go to kiltzmeetup.com and you can find there the link.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna show here actually what you're gonna see on the website.
Where is it posted?
Kiltzmeetup.com. So
April 6th was yesterday. Oh, I got it. Here it is. April 22nd. Hosted by Dr. Nelson.
So you see there 2 events. April 12th, Queens, New York meetup.
Mm-hmm.
And then this date is incorrect, hasn't been updated. It's actually May 6th. We changed it because we have some tickets sold, but we don't have enough. So instead of canceling, we're going to try to do it on May 6th. However, we found out last night, Dave Feldman was there with us, and he took some Q&A after the movie. Dr. Ovadia, Dr. Boss, Dr. Kiltz.
Nice.
And
how many people were in the theater? Was packed?
It was sold out. It was oversold, but there were 70 or 80 of us.
Nice.
So recommended. And people in this community, if you've been following Dave Feldman, Nick Norwitz, and all the people involved, you probably already know most of the information they presented. But of course, putting it together in a documentary, they did a good job as well.
No, I can't wait to see it.
So we found out that April 17, you're going to be able to buy it on Amazon.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. I think
Amazon Video.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
You're going to be able to buy it. But if we sell enough tickets for the Orlando showing, it says Altamont Springs. If you're familiar with Orlando, Altamont is next to Orlando. It's basically the greater Orlando area. And I'm not going to mention the name. Probably on the YouTube community and the low carb keto community, his name is recognized. He's local to Orlando. And he and his son, who's also a doctor, confirmed that they're going to be there. So I'm trying to put a little bit Q&A together to follow the documentary if it happens. If it doesn't happen, you can always just buy it and see it on Amazon Video.
Cool.
All right. So this weekend, April 11th, Dr. Kiltz and I will be in Huntington Place, and as well as Louis here.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Going to be with us.
And then and Chris Brandlin and Miss Meat will be there, which is nice. All of our friends that we saw in Tampa at Hack Your Health, I should say. And then the next day, we're going to be going to Citi Field. I can't wait. This is my first game of the season, which I'm very excited. And I checked the weather. It's going to be a little chilly out, but it'll be okay. We'll be good. You might be cold, DoctorNelson. It's not Florida. It's not Florida weather, so
it's okay. I'll bring my jacket. Yeah. We have a celebrity coming. I'm not gonna mention the name either, but
on what day? On April 12th?
To the game with us.
Oh.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Tell me later.
We
can't say it on the live because then 20 people would know, and we can't tell anybody.
Anyways, but he's extended family, and anyways,
okay, cool.
So hopefully he'll be there, and I have some family members that are gonna be there.
Yep,
and
my
Louis
dad's
is
coming.
Gonna be there. Louis'
my
dad,
father's coming, and then
Leon
is coming. Yep, he's coming both days. He's coming to Long Island as well. Right. And actually, Daniel, Carnivore podcast,
okay,
he's coming on the 11th, Long Island, so you'll meet him in person too, which is good.
All right, so if you are near New York, and I guess what will you say? If you're within 4 hours of New York, you can probably make it for to spend the day.
It's
maybe
I like to think don't drive more total than you are going to be at the events. But if you can stay overnight and do both, then that's a no-brainer. Yeah, totally. Especially if you're driving and you have a car, it's very easy to get around.
Right. So, Rick, did you check your text? I guess.
Yeah, Rick, what's up? I see you're chatting away over here. You're not checking your text messages.
All right.
Rick is having his own conversation over here. One day I need to make my Quack Your Health event. Yeah.
That's
you're gonna host it in your backyard.
Well, as I understand it, he has a piece of land near where he lives. We can take a grill and put a tent, I guess, for shadow, because in Miami you probably will need some cover.
He says he's near his rotary phone. I don't understand why we're doing rotary phones, but that's where he is.
Yeah. All right.
So, yesterday after the screening of the documentary, did you guys go to dinner also, or is that just you and Dr. Kiltz?
No. Before the documentary, we were having dinner.
So everyone, or just you guys?
No, not us. Not just us. You could buy a ticket just for the movie,
like a VIP ticket,
and you had a VIP ticket, and Ruth Chris is right there in the same building where the theater is.
Oh, perfect.
So we just walked over.
Perfect.
But Dr. Badia, Susie Boshoff, they were hosting basically the VIPs, and we had tenderloin and a few carnivore snacks, hors d'oeuvres. Some of them did have some bread.
Okay.
But yeah, it was pretty good. The
Nice.
tenderloin, I mean, the whole thing was roasted, and basically you went and they carved it for you. And Dr. Kiltz says usually he has about a fistful. He had less than a fistful at least. But the thing is with Dr. Kiltz, when we are on that social situation, guess what he does?
It's like his wedding. He doesn't eat and he's walking around.
Yeah.
I remember I sat next to him at the lunch in Boston, at the Boston meetup, and he was never there. And then he would come and he would eat some picanha standing up, and then he'd run away again.
Yeah, but that's exactly what he does all the time.
All the time. Yeah, no, at least he's consistent. No, that's good that you had a good event yesterday. That's nice. I really want to see the documentary. I come to Florida for that event. Yeah. So Kelly said he'll come to Florida for Rick's Quack Your Health. I'm telling you, Rick, you should sell tickets and you should do a Quack Your Health at Hack Your Health. You can have it in the park or something.
That's a great idea. What will be on the menu?
He says it right here: Muscovy duck deep fried. Oh goodness!
I'm up for that. Do you use canola or
soybean oil?
Soybean oil?
Yeah, he'll say for my truck. That's what he's gonna say right now. Say, Rick, we know exactly what you're gonna say before you say it. How is the coaching course? Every Wednesday when we have your Q&A, I see new people on all the time. It looks like it's doing pretty good.
Yeah. So the Wednesdays are no longer. It was never mandatory. You could always go and watch a recording, but it's not really necessary unless you have questions. But yeah, it's going pretty good. We're going to have a graduation every month, the last Monday of the month, at least for another couple of times, see how it works out. And we're also going to be giving a certificate to those that finish the 30-day course, which has always been there for a few years.
The 30-day carnivore course.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
So we decided Alia suggested, and definitely a great idea.
Is that moving forward, or is that?
Yes. I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna go back and see who else had finished, but
right.
Moving forward, at least we're gonna give certificates officially to those that complete the 30-day course. So
very cool.
All right. So check kiltzmeetup.com.
Yep, I'll put it in the chat again.
Come to the park on Sunday and spend time with Louis and me.
Yeah.
At the Korean barbecue place. We'll talk a little. You'll meet some members of our families.
Weekend. Yep, it's gonna be a nice weekend.
And I don't know if there are tickets still available for Christopher's.
You know, he's a slippery one. Let me check that, because he was like, oh, there's only a few tickets left. Meanwhile, these things have been available for 2 months. Yeah, I just clicked. Oh no, that's our event. Let me go back to let's see. Get tickets. Yeah, it says few tickets left, but tickets are still available. So, and that's going to be just at Fogo de Chao Brazilian Steakhouse. Never a bad time there, and that is going to be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. On this coming Saturday, and it's going to be great. DoctorNelson will be there. Dr. Kiltz is going to be there, and Miss Meat Christina is going to be there. She was on a live stream a few months back, a 6 a.m. live stream, and she's pretty cool. I also met her in Tampa, and Dr. Nelson, you met her in person at Tampa, I think, as well, at Hack Your Health, and she was very nice. And of course, Chris Brandlin, who's a great friend to everyone, so it'd be good to see him too.
All right. You have a good day. In about an hour, we're going to be in the community in our Zoom call.
Yep.
And we'll see those that are members there. If you're a member, be there. If you're not a member,
become a member. It's free. Just give your email address. All right, everyone. Have a great night. We'll see you soon. Oh.
Just free barbecue.
Yep. Sign me up.
Okay. You have a great day. See you later within the community. Okay.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day.